The 5 men have been shot dead and set alight in Philippi East in the Western Cape. According to police, the victims, who are between the ages of 20 and 30, were sitting in a vehicle in the Better Life area when 4 armed suspects approached and shot them on Friday night. An investigation into the incident is underway. Newzroom Afrika's Nasiphi Summit is tracking the story for us and joins us live for more. Nasiphi, I suppose the irony to the story is the killing tragedy of these individuals who, ironically, was sitting in a car in a place called Better Life area.
Indeed, Hugo, quite concerning, or rather the trend, police are saying it is quite concerning. And extortion rackets once again rearing its ugly head in the Western Cape. Police currently investigating those 5 counts of murders that happened just behind us yesterday evening. And I'm now joined by the Provincial Commissioner, Lieutenant General Patekile. General, this is the second incident, same modus operandi in 1 week. Earlier on, we had delved with 3 people were also shot and also torched while in a vehicle. And just yesterday, later on in the week again, we are seeing 5 men shot and torched. Are you concerned about this trend? Is it a new modus operandi in the Western Cape?
Indeed, we are concerned. It is new. It has not been there for some time. It's just a new thing that now we see. Whether it is related to this one, what happened in Delft, which is there's always a possibility, because this Cape Flats extortion, there is always a relationship between the groups that are operating in areas, different areas within the province, within the city.
So as much as you're investigating murder here, General, we understand that you are casting the net a bit wider and looking at extortion rackets as well. Is this a new group? I know the investigations are still in the beginning, or early stages, but are these new groups? Are they a breakaway group?
Both is possible. It's possible that's a new group. It's possible that's a breakaway group from another group. But what we know that the ones that we found here, that were killed here, they're not staying here. They're in the Better Life. They're staying somewhere in the island where it's a bit far from here. So what were they doing here? Whether they were coming to recruit or they're starting a new business here, we don't know. But what we've also been establishing is that people, they cross from one group to another group. And when we take the top leadership of the group, and then there's also a conflict within the groups about leadership.
Let's talk about Better Life now. This incident happened on Friday evening. On Thursday, you were indicating to us that there's another incident that happened just a stone throw away from here.
That's what has been informed, that a street behind this one, a person was shot and killed and was also burnt, was set alight. So this is a trend that we're seeing in Philippi East and also in what has happened in Delft. We're looking at the possibility of possible linkages in this, or the motive behind it, because it's a very new thing, that strange method of modus operandi that we're finding now.
Are police going to go back to the drawing board when it comes to extortion rackets? We're now seeing an emergence of a new modus operandi, possibly linked to extortion rackets in the Western Cape.
Look, we had intensified more deployment, stabilized. Look, the toll-free number for extortion is still there. We are encouraging people to use the number 800-314444 to report. When less reports are coming, we see things that is happening, that we are always encouraging people to report that, because we've been able to stem this thing down because of the assistance of the community. And we're also appealing to the community to assist us to ensure that these mushrooming groups, now we stem the authority of the state and we take them down as well as we've done in the past.
Looking at crime generally now within the city of Cape Town, I think it's safe to say that it has been a bloody week. 3 in Delft earlier this week, 5 here on Friday. Ravensmead entering the Frey Grassy Park, or rather Lotus River, where 5 people were also shot there yesterday. General, what kind of assurance do you have for the residents of the Western Cape that the police have a firm grip on policing? Are we seeing more resources, more personnel?
We redirected our resources to the hotspot areas, like Philippi East, Ravensmead, Grassy Park, and additional forces that we got from the National Office of Lockdown 3. We've just deployed that in Rapid, and also many of our forces like POPs, NIU, TRTs, even our own Operation Restore. We've been put in those areas to stabilize the areas. That's what we're doing. We had 15 stations well identified, which we've zoomed now down to 12 because 3 of those went out of the equation. Now we're seeing that Rapid is coming in. We have more development in those areas, more operations that we're now doing those that will stamp out the authority to ensure that we stabilize the areas as we move on. Yes, we want to ensure that the communities are safe, and also want the community to assist us to report the crime, and also those neighborhoods are doing a fantastic job there, that they assist us. The City of Cape Town and the resources within the City of Cape Town, we are deploying jointly in the areas.
We'll have to leave it there. General Patekile, Commissioner in the Western Cape, it does seem that criminals are keeping law enforcement agencies on their toes. This is the second incident in 2 days. Friday evening, we're hearing from the General that 5 people were shot and set alight just behind us. And on Thursday, he's saying that a similar incident occurred. However, 1 person was at the receiving end of that act of crime. And again, going back to the incident that happened earlier on this week, 3 people suffered the same fate in Delft. However, we understand that in that investigation, police are still currently investigating a mob justice. And I understand also murder, seeing that those people there, the 3 individuals were shot, killed, and also set alight. So it is, quite a concerning trend we're hearing now from the Commissioner in the Western Cape, that it does seem to be that it is a trend, and there is a possibility of possibly linking these 3 incidents with the same modus operandi as to whether or not there are any linkages.
Nasiphi, something coming to us from the Western Cape with the Provincial Commissioner, I believe, and asking the right questions, because has been a bloody week in the Western Cape. Thanks for your time.